So, assuming that this was a contrived event, and it does seem very fishy based on the evidence that I've sent, I don't know, as I say, I don't know what happened. I'm still looking for evidence, right? I am intending to investigate this further. So let's assume that it was contrived, that it was not just a lone gunman who woke up one day and decided to kill his mates. And as I say, I'll point you to this book as to the techniques that they can use to control people. Now, in mind control, they use trauma. Trauma is the thing that they use to fracture people's minds. And in Auschwitz, Joseph Mengele, the mind control doctor, he would experiment with twins. Now, what he would do, he would get one twin, and he would make the other, torture the other twin in order to traumatize the first twin, or he might even kill them. So just think about that for a second. You've got a twin brother or sister, and they're tortured and then murdered right in front of your eyes. That twin, in many respects, is you. It's an identical copy of you. Can you imagine how much trauma that's going to cause you, seeing your twin murdered? Now, Derek Bird allegedly murdered his twin brother first. Okay. But there's no witness to that. No one saw Derek Bird do that. So what I'm suggesting may have happened is that Derek Bird's brother was murdered by someone else. And another reason why I think that is, in one of the documentaries, David Bird, Derek Bird's brother, this witness said that he built a 4x4 vehicle and he took it to a scramble track, and the two of them, Derek Bird and David Bird, were having turns in it, going round and round this track, laughing their heads off, like two brothers who love each other. This is 1 week before the shootings. And he supposedly murdered this brother that he's on this scramble track with. So what I'm suggesting may have happened is that someone else has murdered the brother, but they've made Derek Bird watch it, right? We've now got a 5-hour gap between David Bird murder and Kevin Commons, who I think could have been the real target. In that intervening 5 hours, is it possible that he was mind controlled, using the trauma that was induced by making him witness the murder of his twin brother? And of course, the next person they would want out would be the real target, Kevin Commons. Now, what happened after that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who killed who in Whitehaven, because they've not given me enough evidence to base anything on. But I think at some point in the operation, it's possible that Derek Bird has been taken out, murdered, dumped in the woods, while another operative in an identical car bumps off several other people. That's what I think has possibly happened. But it's speculation. I'm speculating here based on knowledge of mind control, and also based on facts I've been able to find out. Okay, and they always bring out a book very soon after these events, almost too soon after these events, which just backs up the official story. From start to finish, it gives you the official story that was reported in the media. And 1 month after the Derek Bird incident, we had the Raoul Moat incident. He shot 3 people. They didn't even bother to change the cover of their book. Now, I've read the Raoul Moat book. I haven't read the other one. If Raoul Moat was alive today, he could easily sue the person who wrote this book. It's absolute crap. It's just, Raoul Moat was a bastard, Raoul Moat was a bastard, Raoul Moat was a bastard. Demonizing him right from birth, saying how evil the guy was. He was a bouncer who was trying to start a gardening business. Now, and I suspect that Raoul Moat was used under mind control to target PC David Rathband. And the reason why I think he was targeting David Rathband is because what David Rathband knew about Lisa French's testimony at the London bombings. Because Lisa French here, David Rathband, police officer, was shot in the face twice by Raoul Moat. Rathband says he was definitely trying to kill him because he played dead, and if he hadn't played dead, he said he would have shot me again. All right? But Rathband miraculously survived. Now, Rathband's girlfriend was on the number 30 bus involved in the London bombings. Now, the alleged perpetrator of the number 30 bus bomb was a guy called Hasib Hussein. That guy was not on that bus because there's not a single witness, 6'4" Asian guy with a huge backpack on him, allegedly. There's no CCTV of him on that bus. There's no witnesses on that bus because there was quite a lot of survivors from the London bombings. No witnesses claim to have seen him or reliably spot him, right? Until the inquest in 2010, 2011, where Lisa French, who was on that bus, says that she saw him. She said that she saw the bomber that no one else had seen, and that she hadn't said that she had seen, up until 5.5 years after the London bombings. She's never mentioned the bomber. Okay, so suddenly she's seen a bomber. Now I think what's happened there is that they're having an inquest, and there's no way they can have that inquest without someone seeing the supposed bomber, because I think the bomb was planted on that bus, and the bomber was not there, Steve was saying. They fled because they sussed that they were being set up. All right, so they couldn't have an inquest without at least one witness saying they saw the bomber. Lisa French was under a psychologist, cognitive behavioural therapy. She said she had over 20 sessions. This is before the inquest. She's going out with PC David Rathband. I think she was being prepped to give a false narrative of what she saw. She might not even know she's giving false testimony at the inquest. She's been messed with by a psychologist. But I think Rathband may have been asking questions about what she was being fed and what she was being asked to do. So that's why I think it's possible that Raoul Moat targeted Rathband, and Raoul Moat shot 2 other people beforehand in order to disguise the real motive. Now, I've gone into various circumstantial evidences as to why I think it was a contrived event. The whole thing was contrived. And another extract from David Rathband's book, which is right at the moment just before he gets shot in the face. He's describing Raoul Moat here. He says, "He was alone. His eyes told me that story. He never blinked and he never quivered. There wasn't a moment of doubt in his actions, nor an ounce of emotion." All right, so let's just look at some of these lone gunmen and put what I think are probably the real reasons why they did what they did. I think the Michael Ryan event might have been about gun control because they banned all semi-automatic weapons in the UK. I think Thomas Hamilton possibly gun control as well, because they banned handguns, and also to protect certain things that were going on in Central Scotland Police. The Derek Bird, I'm suggesting that it's to prevent legal action against United Utilities, but as I said, there might be other reasons. And Raoul Moat to protect the false flag operation of 7/7. Now Anders Breivik, who killed 77 people, some people have suggested that this was carried out as a warning to Norway, to the Norwegian government, because they weren't voting in the UN how they wanted them to. So in other words, they were pro-Palestinian, they were against the invasion of Libya. Mohammed Merah, he killed 7 people, killed a Jewish rabbi and children, but it turned out he was an asset of French intelligence. So a candidate for another patsy, I think. So we've got legislative reasons and just geopolitical. So what I'm trying to do is maybe spot a pattern in some of these cases, but I don't think I can spot one. I think they'll use these incidents for various reasons. And we might ask the question, well, will they do it again? Will they use this technique of lone gunmen losing their marbles to go and kill people so that they can get rid of certain undesirables? Well, I think that they will do. The reason why I think that is because if they're going to use these techniques, they have to convince everyone that these are lone gunmen, that there is no conspiracy to it. And they were doing this last summer. They were convincing people that these are lone gunmen. Just have a look at this.
Something I think you should see.
15 made by gunman Stephen Morton in Southcliffe earlier today.
You know this place. You know the people. Reel them in.
Kept himself to himself.
Stop wasting your time looking for answers.
Didn't anybody read the signs?
There weren't any signs.
Yeah, nobody ever sees anything in Southcliffe, do they?
I feel tired, Claire.
Yeah, me too.
What if we did something that caused him to do what he did?
Anna! He's dead!
She is not coming back.
People don't commit mass murder in a town like this.
What are you doing?
Maybe I'm looking for closure. That's what you meant to do, isn't it?
what Stephen did will never go away.
When do you get to go to start again?
Southcliffe, it's not that kind of place, is it? It is now.
So, in my opinion, their dramas are being used for purposes of propaganda just as much as the documentaries that I showed you earlier. Okay, and just to finish part one with this phrase, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled. Now, after the break, we'll have a 15-20 minute break now. I'm going to talk about the historians Wilson and Blackett and an archaeological find which has been discovered in Gondifaith, just north of here. And we're also going to talk about my new film. But if we can put the lights on now, we'll have a 15-minute break. Thanks for listening to part one.